2022 is right around the corner, and the question on everybody's mind is, what should I invest in for the new year to make the most amount of money possible? Well, in today's video, I will share with you my top 5 investments for 2022 and how you can potentially make a lot of money investing in some of these yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pandrea Finance. My name is Alex Pandrea, and I am excited for today's video because today I make a plan for the new year, an investment plan of where to put more of my money so that I can make the highest amount of returns possible. That is the point of the stock market and investing. Now, every year we should all be making a plan for our future, not just in investing, but in life in general. I do this for my businesses, for my YouTube channels, for all the projects that I want to accomplish, and all the personal goals that I may have. I found that making a plan for myself keeps me on track, and I find myself being much more successful when I make a plan ahead of time. Oh, and there's also a bonus tip at the end of this video, so watch until the end for that. Now, before we get into the actual investments, of course, this is not financial advice, so do your own research before investing any of your hard-earned money. And with that being said, smash the like button so we can begin, and let's get started. Ethereum. First up on the list is, of course, cryptocurrency, but more specifically Ethereum. Out of all the cryptocurrencies, I think the ones that will do the best will be the cryptos with use cases that could act more than just a store of value. Now, don't get me wrong, I have quite a bit invested in Bitcoin as a store of value, but I have even more invested in Ethereum and already am buying more on this recent dip. Now, just in the past year, Ethereum has tripled Bitcoin's gains, and with all the projects and new technologies surrounding Ethereum, it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. Now, what makes Ethereum stand out along with other similar cryptocurrencies like Solana and Polygon? And that's the ability to be used alongside things like NFTs, like DeFi, Web 3.0, and the Metaverse. It would only make sense that if these new technologies continue to grow and scale, then so will Ethereum. And with Ethereum 2.0 scheduled to go into effect in 2022, I believe there will be a huge opportunity for Ethereum to reach the next level and possibly hit a $1 trillion market cap. Now, if Ethereum hits $1 trillion in market cap, that would put the price, I think, around $8,000 per coin, which is a little over 2x from where it is right now at the time of filming this video. Now, I think this is more than possible, especially given the fact that we haven't really seen a parabolic rise in this market cycle like we've seen in previous market cycles in crypto. Now, these market cycles tend to follow Bitcoin and coincide with Bitcoin's halving every 4 years. This is where the reward to the miners get cut in half, hence the name halving. After the first Bitcoin halving in 2012, the price of Bitcoin went from $12 to $1,000. The second Bitcoin halving in 2016 took the price from Bitcoin from $600 close to $20,000. I think we all remember that. And the third Bitcoin halving in 2020 started with Bitcoin around $9,000, and now we are sitting around $48,000. Now, I bring this up because these cycles in Bitcoin move the market along with it. And if another parabolic rise takes place in Bitcoin, then we can see the whole market shoot up, and in turn, Ethereum as well. Also, let's not forget that Ethereum's market cap is only half of Bitcoin, so we could somewhat use the same thinking we do in stocks, that the lower the market cap, the more room you have to grow. Now, not in all cases, but I think it might be valid in this specific scenario. So taking all of this into account, my first investment jumping into this new year is Ethereum. Metaverse Stocks. My next investment after cryptocurrencies is to start creating a portfolio for the future that is the Metaverse. Now, what exactly will the Metaverse be? Well, the honest answer to that is we don't know yet. We have an idea of what it can be, but just like the internet of the early 90s, nobody could predict exactly what it turned into 30 years later.
Allison, can you explain what internet is?
Now, the idea of the Metaverse is to basically create a digital universe outside of our real lives through virtual reality, augmented reality, live on digital land, and become digital avatars. Yeah. Think of the movie Ready Player One if you've ever seen that. It's a crazy idea to think about, but then again, so is all future technologies at some point. The idea is to understand these things, what they can be, and take advantage at the ground level. So the first thing I would do is solidify my investment into the metaverse by looking at companies and stocks that will some way take part in it. Now, sure, you can invest in NFTs and buy digital land and things like that, but those are sort of long shots at this point, and some might put them in the speculation category. But if we are talking about about solid investments, we might want to just start with some good old solid stocks. So here are a few that I am looking into. Nvidia. Nvidia produces graphics and video processing chips for high-end computing and artificial intelligence. And funny enough, they're actually looking to expand into the metaverse. What a coincidence. By providing the processing power that the metaverse will eventually require through their advanced chips. Nvidia also creating its own metaverse platform called Nvidia Omniverse. Sounds like a new variant. Nvidia already has a proven track record for delivering quality, so I am confident in their ability to play somewhat of a role in the metaverse, which is why I will be investing in the stock in the year to come. Roblox. Roblox is more than just an online game. Roblox is a platform to create games and online communities. It's one of the world's most popular online games, and creators are incentivized to build more content for the platform and actually earn money. Now, this is a big factor because what happens in the metaverse itself will be determined by a collective of participants within it. And just like social media, the idea relies on user-generated content to thrive. Roblox has all the elements in place, in my opinion, to seamlessly transition into the idea of the metaverse, which makes me a big fan of this investment. Matterport. Matterport takes real spaces and turns them into virtual spaces through virtual reality and augmented reality. Now, you might have seen their technology used on virtual house tours while looking up homes on real estate websites, but the bigger picture for Matterport, in my opinion, is the metaverse. Imagine being able to take places in the real world and turn them digital, where you can then visit them digitally. And you're probably asking, why would I visit them digitally if I could visit them in the real world? Well, because then your digital friends could come and hang out, and I'm sure it's gonna be a whole thing. You know, imagine being able to do that yourself with just a smartphone one day in the future, or through your camera contact lens. Again, this is using user-generated content to create the infrastructure of the new digital world, and in my opinion, it might be a winner. Financial sector stocks. Now, I always love to think of things that not everybody and their mothers are talking about, because this is the way to find untapped potential in the market and get in early. Now, to do that, you just have to think of the economics of the world and what's going on around you, and I think you'll find opportunities all over. For example, an investment that would combat inflation that we're seeing now would be historically something like gold, or in today's case, cryptocurrency Bitcoin. The investment is an answer to what's happening now in the economy. This brings me to my next investment, which is another factor in the economy that we can take advantage of, and that's the potential of rising interest rates. With inflation rising to record highs of which we haven't seen in decades, good job, everybody. Many experts agree that the Fed will probably need to start raising interest rates over the next few years in efforts to lower inflation and stabilize the economy. So what happens when interest rates increase? Well, consumers and businesses have less money to spend, which will cause demand for goods and services to decrease. So who increases the money that they make during this time? Well, the ones who lend out money at higher rates now, the banks. Banks make money from the loans they provide, meanwhile paying almost nothing back to you for saving your cash with them, right? So the idea is that if banks are going to start making even more money, their stocks might be a good investment, especially for the coming years. I'm looking at stocks like Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan to possibly invest in. Now, I know these investments won't 10x my money, but it's important to have some solid stocks in your portfolio that can withstand a potentially bumpy 2022 year of investing. Now, the next investment is something that I have been very excited to start investing in myself. I'm also very excited to have them on today's video because they are today's video sponsor. Now, even though they are sponsoring this part of the video, I would have included this on here regardless because I really do believe that it is a great investment for the future. And of course, I would never take on a sponsor that I didn't personally believe in. Now, in times like these, investing in non-market correlated assets can really help put your mind at ease. And this company provides the only platform that lets you invest in multi-million-dollar paintings without breaking the bank. The company is Masterworks.io. Now, we all know that the super wealthy love to invest in art, but you might not know why, and the truth is actually quite simple. Fine art has historically appreciated 14% a year compared to the S&P 500's return of 9.5% since 1995. On top of that, the $1.7 trillion held in art is estimated to grow another $1 trillion over the next 5 years. years. Now, according to their CEO, the data shows that art appreciation starts to become predictable once a painting crosses the $1 million mark. And their platform allows you to invest in those paintings by world-famous artists like Banksy. For example, I think that this painting by Jean-Michel Basquiat is going to appreciate nicely, so I simply went on masterworks.io, selected the number of shares I wanted to own, and then bought them. Now that I'm invested in that painting, I could either wait for it to be sold, or if I want to access my money early, I can sell my shares through the secondary market to somebody else. This really is a brilliant platform that is opening the high-end art market to everybody. But as a result of that, there is a long waiting list for those who want to invest. But luckily for you, my friends, I've partnered with them, and I will provide you all with a link to skip that waitlist. And that link can be found in the description below, so check out Masterworks. Real estate. Now let's put into perspective what's going on in real estate so you can have a better sense of the market going into the new year. We have a record low amount of inventory in the United States right now, while real estate prices have hit record highs. Active home listings fell by 25% since 2020 and more than 40% since 2019, while the average home prices hit a new all-time high, upwards of over $360,000, which is up 14% since 2020 and up 30% since 2019. And we are seeing home prices sell even above asking price. So what does this all mean, and how can we take advantage of the macroeconomics of the situation? Well, like we spoke about before, inflation hit us in a big way this year. And even though a lot of the inflation we see in the market right now is in consumer goods, asset prices like homes can also inflate due to inflation. So I don't think that we will see a big decline in home prices, even if interest rates increase, because of that huge demand that we are seeing for real estate. In fact, I think that we can see property prices continue to increase just like we did the last few years. And again, this is just my personal view on the market. I could be way off. I am by no means a real estate expert. So this is what I am looking to as investments. Obviously, buying property as an investment is the first thing somebody thinks of, and it's an option. But something a little bit more interesting to me is REITs. Now, what are REITs? Well, REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trusts, and it's essentially a company that owns, operates, or finances income-generated real estate. This makes it possible for individual investors like us to earn dividends from real estate investments without having to actually buy, manage, finance any of the properties. Now, if your goal in investing in real estate is to generate a consistent return through rent, well, now we can do so using REITs and without the hassle of being a homeowner. That's a good thing. There are lots of different types of REITs that one can invest in. You can obviously have the residential REITs, which invests in houses and rental apartment buildings. You have retail REITs, which focuses on things like shopping malls, for example, or commercial real estate. There are office REITs that invest in, well, I think you can guess that one. And there's also mortgage REITs, which would invest in the mortgages rather than the real estate itself. Now, there are a few reasons that I particularly would invest in REITs. And the first and most obvious one is to substitute the hassle of being a landlord, like I said before. It is a headache, and if it's not something that you truly enjoy, it might not be worth it. The second is that they can provide a high yield, a lot of the times even higher than traditional real estate, because of these companies' abilities to manage every detail of their properties and businesses, perhaps better than you or I can do. Also, let's not forget that you can take advantage of the long-term appreciation that you would get when owning property using REITs as well. So it's a win-win-win if you ask me. I like it. Now for the bonus tip in today's video, in going into 2022, one of the best investments that you can make is invest in yourself. Now I know that might sound cliche or like, yeah, thanks Alex. I wanted to know a specific call option and expiration date so I can just do that. But trust me when I say that I have never been more successful than when I have put time and effort into learning something and investing in myself, of learning everything that I could about a particular topic and then jumping into doing that no matter what it was. And then on the other hand, I was very unsuccessful at a lot of things also in my life. And that is for the fact that I didn't invest the time or effort to make that a success. And you realize that over time. I'm 34 years old. So I think the best investment that you can make starting the new year is invest in yourself, put yourself first, and pay attention to what you need to be the most successful version of yourself. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button. It really does help this growing channel. Share this video around with your friends and your family. Let's all invest wisely in 2022. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video.